Good Friday to you, my friends. So today, very briefly, well, I don't know about very briefly. I've got a little less than a couple of hours, but I wanted to talk to you about astrology again. Let's see if both of these things have astrology on them. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about. First, I am going to be giving out a couple of free astrology readings, but they're just going to be focused on the Dharma Devatta. So let me explain to you what the Dharma Devatta is. The Dharma Devatta in Vedic astrology, if you're not familiar with Vedic astrology is the astrology that is practiced in India. And Vedic astrology and Western astrology would be your normal astrology when you pick up the newspaper and you open up the newspaper and you say, what is your sign? And it gives your birthday and blah blah blah. That's Western astrology. Western astrology and Vedic astrology are based off of the same ancient astrological science that was developed over 2,000 years ago in what is now Afghanistan. There was a culture, a city-state, in what is now Afghanistan. It was called Bactria back then. And this city-state, over who knows how many thousands of years, mastered astronomy and astrology. And so wise men from Greece traveled over to Bactria to learn their astrology, and wise men from India traveled over to Bactria to learn their astrology, and then they each went back to their respective homelands and developed astrology as we know it today. So Vedic astrology has a lot of the same similarities of Western astrology. It has the 9 planets. They don't use all of the modern, they use all the planets that was understood at that time. The 7 planets plus the 2 nodes of the moon. And they use the same 12 signs. They use the same 12 houses. So all of that is still the same. But there are some fundamental differences. So in Vedic astrology, we're going to be talking about one of the special aspects within Vedic astrology, which is called the Dharma Devatta. So what is a Dharma Devatta? Dharma means your path. It means your destiny. It means it's not so much what's going to happen to you. It means your highest path. So each of us have a dharma. If we're talking just in terms of Vedic terms, we have karma and dharma. Karma is the result of your actions, both challenging and pleasant. So let me just clear up a myth about karma. There's no such, karma is not your sins. You're not being punished for your sins. Karma simply means if you do A, you get B, right? So if you step out in front of traffic, you might get hit by a car. That's the karma from stepping out in front of traffic. If you eat well and go to the gym and exercise, then the karma of that is that you will have better health. So karma is neither good nor bad. But there's another very important philosophy in Vedic astrology, which is dharma, Dharma, dharma. Dharma is your highest destiny. Now, you may not fulfill your dharma because you choose to live in a way that does not empower you to your highest destiny. But your dharma is still your dharma. It is, it's the program that you wrote into your matrix of your life, and you said, this is what I want to give back to the universe in this lifetime. And so it means the path that you walk. It's the most important thing that you can do in this life. And let me explain to you how powerful your dharma is and how helpful it is for you when you follow your true path. Before you were born, your soul made a contract with the universe. And you said to the universe, I want to give back something in particular that only you could give back to the universe. It could be something as simple as giving birth to a certain child, or it could be that you decided you wanted to become president of the United States and end all wars for the rest of time. It could be big or small, it doesn't matter. This is your destiny that you've given to yourself, and you've said to the universe, this is what I want to give back. And the universe and you talked it over, and you came to a specific path for you, because the universe needs you. This is very important to understand. You are not some peon. You're not subservient to the universe. So let's get rid of that whole Christian idea, the whole monotheist God idea, where God is sitting up and he's pointing his finger at you and he's saying, I command that you do this, and if you don't do this, you will displease me, and if you displease me, I shall punish you. Get on your knees and thank me for your existence. That is not what this means. The universe and everything in the universe, which includes all of the powers, the entities, the deities, the earth, the sky, other people, the animals, everything is waiting for you to follow your highest destiny, because we need it. The gods need you to follow your destiny. Everybody needs you to follow your destiny. So when you follow your true destiny, which you yourself have decided to do, by the way, nobody forced it on you. You didn't get some notice in the mail that said, okay, you've been now drafted in the army and you have to go and live in a horrible way and give your life away to martyr yourself. That's not what it is. You wanted to do this, and it was also what the universe needed, and only you can do it. So the great thing is that if you follow your true path, you will bring yourself your greatest happiness. And everything in the universe must serve you. So this is important. When you are following your true path, everything in the universe must serve you, which means you'll get all the money that you need, you'll get all of the support that you need, you'll get all of the health, you'll get all of the happiness, you'll get all of the joy, you'll be able to live how you want to live. It's important to understand that. So this is different from, again, the monotheist idea of pick up your cross and carry your burden, and your life is not your own, and you have to live your life, and it's horrible, and God is telling you what to do. So forget about living for yourself, because that's not what this is. This is when you follow your highest path, you will also be fulfilling yourself on the deepest level. Now, you say to yourself, well, that sounds really wonderful. Then why am I having so many problems in my life? Why are there so many difficulties? Why can't I figure out what I'm supposed to do? That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked that. Now, this is also part of what you have put into this matrix that you call your life. And what you have devised and programmed into it is that your soul also wants to learn. So if it were just easy, where we would be like, superheroes like Superman, and just sort of fly down into the world and have all of these powers and, poof, 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 the soul gets very bored with that. And so understand that your experience as a human being, you may see yourself having all of these challenges and fears. From the soul's perspective, it's a video game. And the soul enjoys these challenges. And so the soul will put into your life continuous lessons where you have to learn how to live according to your Dharma, and you will be continuously making choices between what is safe, what other people want for you, what society wants for you, as opposed to what your soul truly wants. And when you follow what your soul truly wants throughout your life, you will have to make these choices between people, places, and things, or what your soul truly wants. Now, when you make choices out of fear, and you go after trying to please other people, your parents, God, the IRS, your neighbors, society, your spouse, When you live your life out of fear, simply trying to please other people or get recognition or love from other people, and that goes against what you truly want, then you disconnect yourself from the source of the universe. When you're following your true path, you are plugged in and you will get everything that you need. It may be challenging because letting go of these ego attachments can be frightening and challenging, but that is the way you've set it up. So for those of you who have very challenging lives, that only means that your soul is very strong, your soul has lived many lifetimes, and your soul has said, I really want to learn in this one. Because remember, it's only for the soul, the life goes by like that. It's only a few minutes. For you, it feels forever. It feels like 80, 90, 100 years, however long you live. But for the soul, it's a blink of an eye. So you have to understand that. Now, if you want to have the most pleasant life you can possibly have, then the answer is very simple. It is knowing what it is your true path is and following it. And this is where Vedic astrology comes into play. Because in your Vedic astrological chart, there is a way to find out which planet represents and is guiding you toward your highest path in this life. And when you do rituals to this planet, and your chart tells you exactly how this planet wants you to do certain rituals to that planet. And now let me be clear about what a ritual is. It's not, just simply praying, oh, please give me what I want, I serve you. That's not what a ritual is. A ritual is a symbolic gesture that aligns your vibration to the specific vibration that you are designed to be following in this life. And you use the planets as ways to dial that in. So it's like when you're trying to get a channel on the radio and you're dialing to the specific frequency, and then when it's clear, you get it. I mean, things are different now, but you remember back in the day when you had rabbit ears on your television and you would move the rabbit ears around and, oh, wait, there it is. That's what you're doing. And that's all a ritual is. And so in your chart, there's a specific type of ritual that is laid out in your chart, which will tell you how to align yourself directly to the perfect vibration for that planet to guide you to your true path. And when you are able to follow that and talk to anybody who's had readings with me and done this, you'll see that it's sort of like everything just sort of lines up and things start to flow in a good way. You start to find what you need in terms of your sustenance, in terms of your resources, and you find out what gives you true happiness. So I'm going to be giving out a couple of readings, and all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be focusing on that. I'm not going to give you your whole entire ritual and all that kind of stuff. For that, you want to go to here, astrology.thunderwizard.com. And in case you want to learn this type of astrology, you can go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com. So don't be giving me out your birthdays and times yet, because I'm going to choose a number. And this time I'm going to choose a number between 300 and 350. So I'll know if you're paying attention, because sometimes people just put random numbers down and it's not what I said. Don't put the numbers down yet, but I'm going to be asking you to be picking a number between 300 and 350. I'm going to take a short break, and then I'll come back, and whoever's here, whoever is closest to the number that I've chosen between 300 and 350, we will take a look at your Dharma Devatta. Now, the other thing is you have to have never had a reading with me before. So if you've already had a reading from me or from one of my apprentices, I'm sorry, you're out. You've already had yours. This is for somebody who's never had a reading with me before, okay? Now, also you need to give me your birthday, month, day, and year, the exact time to the minute. If you don't know the time you were born, I can't help you. It has to be the exact time, not within a few minutes, not within like 15 minutes or a half an hour. It has to be to the minute. and then I need the city that you were born in. If you don't have all that information, I can't help you. Okay? I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we will. I'll tell you which number I chose between 300 and 350. So I'll be back in just a little over a minute. Okay, so I have picked a number between 300 and 350. Whoever is closest to that is going to get a free Dharma Devatta reading from me. So 300 and 350, let's take a look and see what we got here. So, ooh, somebody got it right on the nose, right smack on the nose. So no more, that's it, we're done. Don't put any more numbers down. Maya Labatut, 333. You got it. So Maya, here's what I need from you. I need you to give me the month, the day, the year that you were born, the exact time to the minute of your birth, and the city of your birth. Okay? If you don't have that, then I can't help you. Okay? But make sure you have that. So I know there's a little bit of a delay here, so I'll get my little program out here to put your chart in. So, month, day, year, exact time to the minute, and city of birth. All right. I don't see anything yet here. I'm going to write down your name. My gender, I'm assuming that's a female. Hi, Maya. Yes, hello. Okay, I'm waiting, Maya, for you to give me your birth information. I know there's a delay, but I'm waiting. Birth info, month, day, year, exact time to the minute, city of birth. Okay, there we go. So we've got November 19th, 1968. So let's write that in here, or put that in here. November 19th, 1968. Okay. Time of birth is 8:05 p.m. 8:05 p.m. Place of birth is Belgrade. Belgrade, Serbia. Okay. All right, so let's take a look here. So the first thing I want to do is find out, I don't know if you've ever had a Western astrological chart before, but I don't know what your ascendant is, I don't know what your sign is in Western astrology, but it is going to be different, very likely. Your sign in Vedic astrology is Cancer. Okay, so whatever your sign is in Western, you're actually a Cancer. And I'll have to do a whole video on the difference between the ascendant in Vedic versus Western, but just know that if you want to, you can do your research on why that is and why it's different. Okay, so you are a Cancer, and let's see. First, I got to find out. There it is, the moon. Okay, so now I have to take a look at. Why aren't you showing? Oh, I need to see the D9. Hang on one second. Okay, so now I have to find out what is your Dharma Devata. So let's see. There's moon. 12, 11, 10, 9. Saturn. Saturn is your Dharma Devata. So, what does that mean? That means that the planet that is guiding you to your highest destiny is the planet of karma. So, here we have karma and dharma coming together. So, for you, worshiping any kind of Saturn deity will be helpful for you. So let me take a look at something here pretty quick. Just give me a second here. So working with a Saturn, what is that? That's not what I want. Hang on one second here. I'm going to find out which, oh, come on, where's the guy I'm working with right now? I don't know. Where is that guy? All right. Well, so we're going to talk about which deities you can work with best. So forgive me for taking so much time here, but I have to look that up. Because one of the things that you need to understand when it comes to worshiping deities is that there is a number of syllables that will work best for you. So for instance, if I were to worship Saturn, one of the most beloved Saturn deities is Kali. Now, if I didn't know any better, I could worship Kali and Kali would give me the benefits of Saturn. But when I look at my chart, I can see which syllables vibrate with my houses of blessing. And then if you want, you can worship a planet or a deity connected to a certain planet that will actually bring blessings to your life as opposed to challenges. Now, all of the houses in your chart are going to help you. So even if it's one of the death houses, like let's say the 8th house or the 6th house, there are syllables in there, and if you worship deities, they will align with certain houses. So for me, if I worship Kali, for instance, Kali is my 3rd house. So that's okay. That's not really what I want. I want to work with something that's going to work with my 1st, 5th, or 9th houses. So for you, you are a Cancer. So I want to see which deities are going to work best for you in terms of Saturn. So I'm going to say that Kali is also a good one for you as well. And the reason I'm going to say that is because even though it vibrates on your 4th house, your 4th house is the natural home of the moon. The moon is, by the way, also your Atmakaraka. So you have moon doing a lot of things for you. The Atmakaraka is the planet that has the highest number of degrees, which means there's a karmic connection to it. So your karmic lesson in this life is to see the whole world as your family. You and I share the same Atmakaraka. And so if you wanted to worship Kali, which is a Saturn deity, then worshiping Kali is going to stimulate your 4th house. And your 4th house is, let me double check. I want to make sure I'm thinking clearly here. 1 second here. Wait, don't do that. Come back here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So the 4th house. So if you worship Kali, what's going to happen is Kali is going to stimulate things that are connected to your 4th house. Has to do with your home, your comfort, your mother, your things connected to the moon, because the 4th house has a strong connection to things associated with the moon, and the moon is working for you. So you could definitely worship Kali. Kali would be a good deity for you to work with. And by worshiping Kali, what will happen is that you will be asking Kali to empower you to follow your highest path in this life. So again, we need to distinguish between the three most important planets as I teach in my Vedic astrology. You have your Ishta Devata, which means your chosen planet. This is the planet that has chosen to help you on a conscious level. Like when Christians or Catholics talk to Jesus, that's sort of like the Ishta. You're talking to the deity that you want to connect with on a conscious level. The Dharma Devatta wants to work with you on the unconscious level. And this is the most important aspect of your life because your unconscious mind carries in it all of the lessons from previous lifetimes, as well as all of the patterns that you have programmed into your unconscious mind, all of your beliefs, all of your fears, all of your self-sabotage. And so what's important to know about this is that the way that we sabotage following our highest path is going to be from the unconscious mind. This is why you can be telling yourself something on a conscious level. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to be successful. I want to quit smoking. You can tell yourself this on a conscious level all you want, but if your unconscious mind has a different pattern in there that says that, let's say you somewhere in your childhood or from a previous life, you've decided you're not worthy of having money. A lot of people have this. They want money, but on an unconscious level, they don't believe that they deserve money or they think money is bad. Now, if they have that belief on an unconscious level, unconscious means you are not aware of it. So on a conscious level, you may be saying to yourself, I really want money. I really want to be successful, and I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be happy. But if the unconscious programming says that you believe that you're not worthy of it, it won't matter what you tell yourself. So what the Dharma Devatta will do is the Dharma Devatta will go into the unconscious mind and bring to your conscious awareness all of the false beliefs that you have and where you learned them. So for instance, in my life, I had a very similar scenario. I thought money was bad. I didn't think I deserved money. So for much of my adult life, I struggled with success. I struggled with finances. And it wasn't for a lack of being qualified or talented in whatever it is that I did. It was that on an unconscious level, I didn't feel that I was worthy of it. And I also felt that if I were successful, my parents wouldn't love me. Now, that doesn't make any sense consciously, but that was what I was taught as a little kid. If I wanted my parents to love me, I had to be mediocre and stay at home. If I were to go off and do my own thing, I would hurt their feelings, and then they wouldn't love me anymore. So even after, they were dead, you still run into that problem. So for you, when you want to learn what it is that's blocking you from following your highest path in this life, for you, it will be helpful for you to worship a Saturn deity. Kali is one that will work for you in a good way. So when somebody gets a reading from me, I don't have the time to do it here now, but when somebody gets a reading from me or from one of my apprentices, what I will do is I will go and see which deities align best with your ascendant and for which planets. Bear in mind, every planet has its own set of deities. So if you want to get the benefit of Saturn, you don't worship a Jupiter deity like Indra. Indra is a Jupiter deity. So you don't worship Indra to get the benefits of Saturn. You worship Saturn deities. So Kali is one of the most well-known Saturn deities there are. Another one would be Mahakala. Mahakala is the Shiva version, the male version. Kali would be the female, the goddess version. Okay? So when somebody gets a reading from me or from one of my apprentices, you'll learn exactly which deity, and then you'll be given a specific mantra. Now, there's another type of very powerful mantras that we give out in our readings. And these are the mantras that are associated with the avatars of Vishnu. So Vishnu, there's a trinity in the universe. According to Vedic astrology, there's Brahma, which is the creator. There is Shiva, which is the destroyer. And then there's Vishnu, who is the preserver. So Brahma would be the lower self, the unconscious. Shiva would be the higher self, the third eye. And Vishnu is the sacred center where the soul resides. And so when you worship a Vishnu deity, he will empower you to be preserved in your life. You worship Shiva, Shiva's going to want to burn away your karmas. So you may end up becoming an ascetic monk living on a mountain. You may go through some challenging things in your life. But when you worship Vishnu, Vishnu wants to make you comfortable and give you what you need so that you can be physically healthy and happy and get through your life. So when people want that, they worship Vishnu. Now there are 9 avatars of Vishnu, and so each one of those avatars vibrates to a specific planet. Okay, so there's a Saturn deity associated with Vishnu, which is called Kurma, and there's a whole legend behind that. So when you work with one of my apprentices, they are going to give you, let's say if Saturn is your Dharma Devatta, they will give you a Vishnu mantra for Kurma, and they'll tell you exactly how to do the worship, because in your chart it will tell you how to do that. So for instance, in my chart, if I want to worship the moon, I need to offer some kind of a fire sacrifice, whether it's a candle or an actual fire. And that's because of what sign my moon is placed in. Now, if your moon is in a different sign, and there's going to be a different direction to face, and there's going to be a different offering for you. So this is the benefit of what Vedic astrology will do for you. So, I forgot your name already, the woman whose reading I just did, so let me get back to that. So, come on, Maya. So Maya, it will be helpful for you to worship a Saturn deity. Kali is one that will work for you, and I recommend that you get a mantra from somebody qualified, a qualified Vedic astrologer. And again, the reason for that is because a Vedic astrologer is going to be able to be very clear on which mantra is going to work for you. You could go out there and just get yourself a Kali mantra, and the universe will give you a pass if you don't know any better. If you're ignorant, the universe won't hold you to it. But if you do know, then the universe holds you to that, because the closer you get to the vibrational connection that you have with a specific mantra and a specific planet and deity, the more you're going to get out of your ritual. So I recommend that. But you're welcome to go and begin worshiping Kali. And here's what you want to ask for. Kali is, if you choose to worship her, Kali is going to want to help you become conscious of all of your unconscious issues. So if you have any self-sabotage in your unconscious that you're not aware of, then Kali is going to want to bring that to your attention. And what will happen as a result of that is then you will be forced to make some choices. You will have to get rid of some things in your life. If there are some major things that you are doing in order to please other people or please the world or go against your highest empowerment, then you will be forced to make some choices to let go of some things, and it might be challenging. The other aspect is if you are in pretty good alignment with your soul, then what will happen is you will be more clear on what choices to make in order to follow your highest path. And I just got an email today from somebody who had a reading from me who said that they've been doing the mantra and the discipline that I gave them, and their life is lining up. and things are happening this, and the door closed here, and the job thing here, and the money here, and all the things start lining up. And it's important to understand that because, again, as I said in the beginning, when you follow your Dharma, when you follow your true path, everything has to help you, because you are the only person that can give what your Dharma is going to give to the universe. And again, as I said in the beginning, if you weren't here in the beginning, you are not serving the universe. The universe is here to serve you. The universe needs you to follow your path. You incarnated for two reasons. One, so that you would fulfill your greatest desire. That's what your soul wanted to do. But you also incarnated because the universe said, we need something to happen and only you can do this very specific thing. Will you become a human and come down and follow that path so that the universe can move on to the next level? And you volunteered and you said, yes, I will do that. And you set it up so that when you follow what your true path is, it will also bring you your greatest joy. So again, following your path is not a punishment. Karma is not a punishment. Somebody said something about karma, which I will probably talk about. But in any case, there's that. I don't have the resources or the time right now to give you all of the things connected to what I would normally give you in a chart. If you want to find out what the Vishnu mantra is for you, then go to astrology.thunderwizard.com and you can work with one of my apprentices who will give you a specific mantra and a ritual which will connect you to your highest path. Okay, so let me see if there may have been some questions here. So now, give me a second here. Give me about a minute, and then I'll check and see if there are any questions. Again, if you want me to answer a question, you have to type question in so I can see it. Otherwise, I have to bypass all of the comments and make sure that it's actually put the time and effort to actually write a readable, coherent sentence so that I can answer your question for you. And you can ask me about anything you want, but I'll be back in about a minute. Okay, so I did see a comment here that I wanted to address. Normally I don't address these kinds of comments. Again, it takes up a lot of my time. So for those of you watching, if you're new to the channel, it's best if you refrain from dumping comments and opinions and all that, because then I have to look through everything to find the actual questions. However, a Fire in Hearts E, whatever that is, says something I want to address here. This person says, the concept of karma I've gathered is largely misunderstood. I would agree with that. It is not completely preset. It can be changed. So, what I hear in that statement is a false assumption, an inaccurate assumption about what karma is. This sounds like it's coming from the idea that karma is punishment, and that you're born into this life and then you have this set punishment that has to happen to you, right? And that's not what karma is. Karma has nothing to do with that. If you have challenging karma, it is because you chose it. So in terms of preset, that sounds like something else preset, like there's some deity going to, well, you screwed up here, so I'm going to give you this lesson, and I've preset it into the universe. So the fact that you have to say it's not preset means that you also kind of have that understanding that it's something outside of you. It's not. The way karma works is, well, if we're talking about challenging karma, because nobody thinks about the good karma, every time that your heart beats and you're able to successfully take a breath and eat your food and walk down the street, that's all positive karma. But you don't think about it because it's working for you. We only think about the challenging stuff, the negative stuff, karma, ooh. But there's far more positive karma that's happening to you than negative at any given moment. But assuming that you have challenging karma, it is simply because when you chose to incarnate, you were looking back on your previous life and the soul went, yeah, there's that one lesson that I really want to learn, and there's been multiple lifetimes that I keep missing that one thing that I'm trying to learn, so I got to ratchet it up a little bit. You know, if it has to do with other people, then you're going to learn, you know, let's say in previous lifetimes you've fallen out of alignment and you've been a racist, let's say. Let's say you were a racist in a past life. Your next life, nobody's going to say to you, okay, now we're going to punish you and make you a minority and you're going to... It's not going to work like that. You're going to say to yourself, you know what, I see where things are going in this world history. I want to put myself in a scenario where I know what it's like to be racially oppressed. I want to understand that. So I'm going to be born in this society as this ethnicity so that I can, from firsthand knowledge, know, oh, that's what that feels like. Now, you're not going to have that idea when you're going through life. You're going to be oh, what is happening to me? But it's your karma that you chose. So I disagree with you here. It is preset. You preset it. What I do agree with you in is that it's not happening to you. Because that's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say there isn't some force out there that's doing it to you. You are building it and choosing it for yourself. Now you also say here, according to karma, you say it can be changed depending on personal growth, perception, and behavior. So there's truth to that as well, but there's some things that you preset into your life that may not be something that you can change. But I will tell you this. How you interact with that is completely up to you. You can decide not to feel like a victim. You can take full, complete responsibility for your life. And that in and of itself will change the dynamic that you will no longer feel like things are happening to you. You will see, and you will be able to then even, like, let's say you chose, like I said, to be in a challenging cultural situation. You then, if you take full responsibility, you will change that dynamic and that will no longer affect you. Once you have learned the lesson, this is the important thing about karma, which is Saturn we were talking about earlier. The important thing about Saturn is that once you learn the lesson, Saturn says, that's all I wanted. You told me to teach you the lesson about what it's like to feel oppressed. You told me to do that, so here I am. I have my thumb on you. You now get it. You've applied it to yourself. You've taken full responsibility, and now I'm going to leave you alone because now you got the lesson. So it's important to understand what karma really is. I see in that I think you're largely on the right track, but there are some assumptions that I wanted to point out about that. So anyway, let's take a look. I'll see if there are any questions. Let me scroll down here. That was a while ago. Yeah, so yeah, people are throwing out their dates and times. So remember, that's not how it works. The way it works is I will give you the number that I'm thinking of, and then the person that's closest to that I will give a reading for. So let's let me just check and see if there are any questions here before I go on. Okay, Dimitri. So Dmitry Ostoyik says, question. Can you tell us mantra for summoning of Shiva? Of course I can. But I don't know, first off, if that's what you need. How do you know you need to talk to Shiva? So you're probably new to my channel. So understand that when I give a reading, I just don't throw mantras out. What I will do is I look at your specific chart. I find out exactly which planets are working for you in which ways. And from that, that will tell me which deities want to work for you. So Shiva, for instance, is a sun deity. So I don't know if you're supposed to be working with the sun or not. The sun in your chart might bring more challenges to you. So if I do what you want me to do and just give you a Shiva mantra, I could be doing you a disservice. And the reason for that is because I know how to create a mantra. Now, if I didn't, like most gurus and teachers out there, they'll just say, oh yeah, chant this mantra for Shiva. You get a pass because they don't know any better. But once you know how it works, the universe holds you to that. So I will be karmically responsible if I give you a mantra that isn't going to work for you the best. Okay? So for those that want that, we go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. So again, you're new to the channel. You didn't know how this worked, but now you do. All right, so let me see if there are any other things here. Looking for the questions. Again, I'm not going to look at anything other than questions for the most part. Nemo Blade, question. What is your opinion about star seeds and people claiming to be ET hybrids answering a distressed call from Gaia to help her in her humanity ascent? Well, in general, I agree with the feeling behind that. That symbolically represents what the soul does. The soul is coming here for, first and foremost, its own personal satisfaction. All the desires that you have, like for me, surfing is my absolute obsession. It's what my soul wants to do. So I've built my life around living on the beach, my favorite beach, and surfing every chance I get. So that's the first thing. The second thing is as we've said, there's Dharma, which is your path. Your path is what you have decided is going to be most pleasing to you, and then the universe and you have come to a conclusion that this is how you can best help everything in the universe evolve, and only you can do it. So that would be a symbolic representation of that. I can see people who need to feel special because we live in a society that tells us we're not special. We're just these pieces of crap, and God hates us, and you're born in sin, and you better get it together, you're going to be thrown in hell. So whether we consciously believe that or not, we are brought up in a society that has been telling us that for 2,000 years. So when people say I'm an ET hybrid and I've come here to Earth because of a distress call from Gaia, what they're really saying is that I have value, that my soul has value, and that my soul has worth, and that I have a destiny. So I agree with that part of it. Now, do I believe that the other thing that they're saying here is that they're different from other humans. They're star seeds, and they are ET hybrids, as opposed to just the regular human walking down the street. And they're here to help those poor, stupid humans. And here we have some denial. And here we have people who are not acknowledging that they feel less than. Because, you don't make yourself out to be, Jesus, the second coming of Jesus, unless you have tremendous insecurity and you don't feel valuable. And this is all happening on an unconscious level. So I don't care if somebody's an ET hybrid from a starseed. I don't care what, if you came from the Pleiades or from the, reticuli, whatever it is. You're in a human body right now. So right now, you're from Earth. And if you want to get the most out of this life, acknowledge that you are from Earth. To say you are from some other place is, again, I think that person's in denial. I think that person's probably got some unresolved emotional pain. And if you're attracted to that, like I wish I was, maybe I'm a starseed, then that means that you may have some of those same feelings too. But I'm here to tell you, everybody is from somewhere. Your soul is from somewhere else. And I don't care where it's from. Nobody is higher or lesser than anybody else. There's no star seed that's here to help out the other stupid humans. Okay? I don't know. I have no problem with the idea that in previous lifetimes I've been an alien on another planet. I dream about all kinds of weird things that I'm sure come from past lives. But right now I'm a human in physical flesh. I'm an earthling. And if I want to help people on earth, one of the first things I need to do is to be able to relate to them and take responsibility that I've chosen to be an earthling. Okay, so that's what I think about that. I think that generally speaking, I like the direction that they're going, but I think they're in denial, and I would like my personal, they can do whatever they want, but my personal desire is, hey, drop the whole starseed alien hybrid crap and just take responsibility for right now. You are in a human body and you're from Earth. Let's get to the task of helping humans and helping the Earth. That's what I would say. All right, Jedi Black Knight question. I did Celestial Qigong for 90 minutes. Celestial Qigong is here, qigong.thunderwizard.com. If you want to be able to empower yourself to raise your vibrational level to its highest level, if you want to be able to work with the Celestial Masters, then I recommend doing Celestial Qigong. That's what he's about to talk about. Jedi Black Knight said, I did Celestial Qigong for 90 minutes and then did my mantra and closed down for 20 minutes. And, okay, then the rest of his question is down here. But still felt lots of energy. Anyway, he wants to know if he closed down well enough. Well, you can still feel the energy. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with having the energy after you've closed down. But what we're talking about here is Celestial Qigong is a specific energy practice. And the energy level gets so high that you have to ground yourself. Otherwise, you can go loopy. So we do self-massage, and then we meditate on the navel, and we put our hands over the navel, and we breathe and bring all of our energy back to our navel center. Which is, by the way, if you feel loopy, whether you're doing energy work or not, that's one way to bring you back into your body. So if you've closed down accurately for 20 minutes and you still feel the energy, that's normal. That's okay. That's why it's good to do it before bed, because then you can go to sleep and you feel all cozy and you'll have great dreams. It'll help you work through your unconscious issues. So it's okay to feel energy after you've closed down. All right, so let's see here. Romney on Germany question, what is the world the soul originally comes from? I don't know. What makes you think I'm going to know that? I don't know what world. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions in there. Are you saying that there's another world that souls are created from? And how do you know that? I don't know that it matters. There's probably all kinds of different beliefs out there. I don't know that it matters. Again, like I said earlier, I'm here in a human body now. And my soul is in a human body now. Let's focus on that. Okay? That's the best way for me to answer that question. And again, for those of you who are coming onto my channel, there's a lot of people who come onto my channel and come onto these Q&As who I can tell do not watch my videos and haven't read any of my books. So if you really want to understand where I'm coming from and what I teach, watching my videos on the YouTube channel, and there are so many on there, and reading my books will tell you what I believe, and then you don't have to ask me questions. I mean, you can ask me whatever question you want. There's no such thing as a stupid question, but it'll save you and me time. And yeah. Skyclad Faye question. I think my question got lost. How do you pronounce Menglod? I have no idea. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Menglod. Why would I know that? She was a healer with 9 handmaidens, lived on a mountain. Is this Norse mythology or is this Celtic mythology? I don't know which mythology you're coming from. If it's Norse mythology, I've never heard of it. So, and I'm the first to say there are many people out there that are far more well versed in Norse mythology than I am. Please, billions of people out there. So, if I just read it as it's there, Menglod. That's what it looks like to me. New Elma question: is it beneficial to use your own blood in intention ritual ceremonies? I would say don't do it unless you know what you're doing. I would be lying to you if I said that there wasn't a place for it and it wasn't beneficial. But I would say don't do it unless you know what you're doing. I don't recommend playing around with that, and I'm certainly not going to go on to YouTube on a live thing and recommend that people, you know, get, cut themselves or anything like that. So I can't answer that question for you responsibly. Johnny Delgadillo question: if Shiva just starts appearing to me with absolute no studies of him before, could that be the truest way to find our prime deities? You're asking me a bunch of questions. If Shiva appears to you, then you ask him why. Talk to him about that. Is that the truest way? I'm not going to say it's the truest way, but it's definitely what Shiva wants to do right now for you if he is appearing to you. So just talk to him and ask him what he wants. Rommel Blacklip question: when doing rituals, should we use magnetic north or true north? I don't know that I don't know that it makes a difference. Use whichever one you feel led to do. How's that? Angie Chia question: which video do you talk about the food we eat being vegan? I talk about it in numerous places. I'm not vegan, and I don't subscribe to the belief that being vegan is going to make you any more or less spiritual than other people. I believe that if somebody has a personal moral issue regarding animals, that they should follow that. However, having said that, I've been on this planet for a while. I have known more than a few vegans and vegetarians who became anemic, and they had to start eating flesh, whether they became pescatarians. Like I said, I don't care if you eat grubs out of the ground, worms, at some point, the human body needs certain enzymes and vitamins that you can only get from flesh. Now, those of you who are vegan, if you're going to get all bent out of shape about it, I can only tell you what I've experienced and what I've seen. I do believe that the human body has evolved to eat flesh. Some people need more protein than others, blah, blah, blah. In any case, there's a whole very popular teaching out there that, you won't go to heaven or you won't, escape the matrix if you eat meat and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's a fear-based belief system, and I don't teach that. Be a normal human. If you have a personal issue, and I can totally get it, then adjust your diet accordingly. If it's that important to you, then be a vegan. By all means, you have my support. But, which video do I do it? I talk about it just like I did right now. When the question comes up, I talk about it. Okay. All right. There we go. No more questions. So I'm going to come back in about a minute. I'm going to pick a number between 600 and 675. A number between 600 and 675. If you know your month, day, year, exact time to the minute of your birth and the city of your birth, and you have never had a reading from me, I can help you. Those are the rules. You have to have never had a reading from me. You must know all that information and pick a number between 600 and 675. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're looking for a number between 600 and 675. That's what I said. So let's see here. What do we got here? Okay. So Menglad, I guess, is Norse from the Eddas. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but again, there's so much I don't know about Norse mythology. You could fill books on what I don't know. So there you go. All right, so all these people choosing 666. That's funny. 666 is a very powerful human number, by the way. That's why the Bible didn't like it, because they didn't want you to be human. That's why they picked it. Okay, looking for, let's see, who's the closest so far? Okay, there's one there. Up, nope, we got a new leader. Okay. Oop, there's another close one. Okay, she's still in the lead. Okay, let's see. Those two are the same. All right, we have a winner. No more numbers. No more numbers. Stop. The number was 640. Skyclad Faye wins with 642. So, Skyclad Faye, you need to tell me the month, the day, the year that you were born. Sandra Levini, no, you're off. It was 640. Let's see here. All right, so no more numbers, you guys. We're done. I've already picked a winner here. Skyclad Faye, I need your month, day, year that you were born, the exact time to the minute, and the city. Month, day, year, exact time, and city of birth. Month, day, year, exact time, and city of birth. Month, day, year, exact time, and city of birth, Skyclad Faye, waiting to get past the... I know there's a little time delay here. So come on, Skyclad. Give me your birth info. I can't help you unless you give me your birth info. Can't do it. I cannot help you without your birth info. So let's see here. So I'm going to start changing things around here. Okay, I think she just gave me her info. All right, so where'd you go? All right. So I need the month, the day, the year. I see 12 hour 31, 12 November. I don't have a year. So 12:31, is that 12:31 midnight, or is that 12:31 noon? I need you to be clear. 1976. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's start with that. Okay, gender is female. Date of birth is 30, 12 November 19. So November, you guys talk funny. You guys do things all backwards in other countries. Do things the way we Americans want you to do. Don't you know that Americans want things a certain way, and you have to do things the way we want you to do them, otherwise we get confused? We're the emperors of the world here. Okay, this is the modern Roman Empire, and we have Nero in office who's about ready to burn down Rome. So you got to do things right. All right. So November 12th, 1976. November 12th, 1976. Done. Time of birth. So again, PM doesn't help me because sometimes people say PM when they mean noon, and sometimes people say PM when they mean in the morning. So I'm going to assume that you mean noon, 12:31 noon, right? I'm assuming that's what you mean by that. So time of birth is 12:31 p.m. And the place of birth is, what are you doing? That's not what I want from you. Place of birth is, what do we say, Johannesburg? There we go. Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at, all right. So first, your ascendant is Aquarius. I don't care what they tell you in Western astrology. We go by your ascendant, which is your sign. So your sign is Aquarius. I don't care what your Western sign is. Your actual sign is Aquarius. And I want to look for the planet that has the highest number of degrees in your chart, and that is Mercury. So you've got a keen intellect, but you overthink things sometimes. So that's your main lesson is to communicate effectively. Always make sure that you're communicating your feelings, not your thoughts. So that's your main karmic issue in this life. You run around and you talk to people, and sometimes people get like, what is she talking about? Because you're not talking from your feelings. So, okay, so that's your Atmakaraka. So now we have to find out what your... Sorry, I'm getting confused here. I have to find out... I have to go to a different, your D9 chart. And then I have to look for Mercury. Where is Mercury? Mercury is there, so... Okay, let's see. It's either Venus or Sun. Let's take a look here. So now I have to go back here. See between the two of those, which one has the highest number of degrees between Venus. So let's see, Sun. Hang on. Okay, that's not telling me what I need to know here. Oh, this is a different program. I'm not used to it, so it's not telling me things that I need to know here. So, all right. So hang on a sec. I got to put this again into another program, so it will tell me what I want to know. So I'm going to put this all in here again. Sorry for the... Here, let's do this. Let's take a break and then I'll come back. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody didn't want me to give you your chart here. It just kind of fell apart at the last minute. All of my software went crazy on me. So let's see here. We were going to take a look at what your Dharma Devatta is. So hang on for 1 second here. Mercury. So that's right. 12th from Mercury is Sun and Venus. Between Sun and Venus, we have, who is the strongest there? Sun. Okay, so Sun. Sun is your Dharma Devata. So that means that the soul is very important to you because the sun represents the soul. So for you to follow your highest path in this life, you need to worship the sun. The sun in all of its forms, going out in the sunlight, getting sun into your body is very important. The sun represents the soul, it represents the identity and the ego. So being clear on having a very clear boundaries for your own self, your own soul, will help you on an unconscious level. So following a spiritual path is also going to be very important for you, especially a path that connects you to the soul. You know, there's all kinds of spiritual paths out there. You know, Jupiter is a spiritual path, but Jupiter likes to serve others. So the sun likes to serve itself. So kind of like me, you know, I'm pretty self-motivated. I just kind of do what I want to do. And I first and foremost make sure that I am aligned with myself before I do anything for anybody else. So that's going to be something that's going to be helpful for you as well. Let's see here. Let me take a look and see right offhand if I can see what deities might be helpful for you. Again, this isn't a normal reading. For a normal reading, you go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. If I can find it quickly, I will. I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but let's see. You are Aquarius, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, Rama. The Vishnu avatar of Rama will work very well for you. So Rama is the Vishnu avatar who represents the soul. His name Rama means sun and moon. So it represents the fusion of the soul from the spiritual perspective into the physical. So it really represents the human being. And he, as the sun, he represents the king. So the king is, in his mythology, his throne is taken away from him, and he must go through all of these challenges and fight to get his Shakti back, his feminine power, which represents the Kundalini. So following the path of Rama is a way for your soul to figure out how it can raise its Kundalini, how it can be in a human body. This, we talk about being, being a spiritual being, having a human experience. This is what Rama is all about. So worshiping Rama will be very helpful. Again, if you want to know exactly what the specific rituals are for that, go here and get a reading, and then you'll find out how to specifically worship Rama, and which direction to face, what to offer him, and what his mantra is. So those are the 2 free readings that I said I was going to give. I am getting a little short on time, and my apologies for wasting so much of your time on me. One of my softwares just kind of farted out on me, so I had to scramble to get everything right. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions here. Johnny says, question, what is it about Odin energy that demands everything come to him? I don't know what you mean by that. That's not my experience. So again, I'm not quite sure I understand the question, but so I can't answer it. Just that simple. Oh, let's see. Jedi Black Knight might have caught me. Let me see. Did he catch me in a mistake? Let me see if he did catch me in a mistake. He's saying, isn't that her Ishta? So let's see here. Yes, you're right. You caught me. Very good. You caught me in a mistake. Her Ishta is the sun. Here's what I've found. I do take responsibility for my mistakes. So, there have been times when I've made mistakes on people's chart and they get back to me and I go, yep, you're right. And then I give them, a whole new chart. I take full responsibility for that. But I also find out that when I make a mistake, there's a reason for it. So I just went through talking to you about Rama and how you need to connect with Rama. So your Dharma Devatta, 12, 11, 10, 9, is actually Jupiter. But Jupiter is retrograde at 0 degrees. Jupiter is retrograde at 0 degrees, and he is in an unfriendly sign. So that would explain why. Not that you won't benefit by worshiping Jupiter. You will. But there's something to that. When a planet is at 0 degrees in your Navamsha, and it's at 3 degrees in your birth chart. So Jupiter is in its retrograde. It's sleepy. It's barely waking up. Sun, on the other hand, is more awake, far more awake in your chart. But what we want to know from that is that Sun is your Ishta, which means the Ishta Devata wants to work with you on the conscious level. So the conscious level of your mind is talking to somebody. So you need to be talking to Rama. Like when you wake up in the morning, you should talk to him like a Catholic talks to Jesus. Jesus, help me find a parking space. Jesus, help me with my work. I have a problem with this person. Help me to forgive them. So Rama is who you need to be talking to. If I made that mistake, and I'm glad that my friend caught me on that, it means that that's what you need. Even though I want to talk about the Dharma Devatta, what you need to be focusing on your Ishta Devata, at least for this time being right now. So go find out where Rama is, who Rama is. There's a mythology called the Ramayana, which is all about him, and Hanuman, the monkey god, which is a form of Shiva and an emanation of Shiva. People get some Hindus get really upset if you say it's an avatar of Shiva. It's an emanation of Shiva. Thank you, my friend. Jedi Black Knight is also an astrology student. He's not necessarily my student, but he is an astrology student. Anyway, there you go. Oh, and he says I made a mistake on him. Well, okay. I don't know. I'd have to take a look and see. Counted in reverse. I don't know if you're, yeah. So there's a way to figure out who the Dharma Devata is and the Ishta Devata. Two of them you have to count in reverse from where the Atma Karaka is in the D9. And the third one, the Palana Devata, you can't count forward from the Amatya Karaka. So two you count backwards and one you count forwards. All right, Gen C question. How important is an exact birth time for a reading? I know around the time, but not exactly. Well, let me ask you this. You have to go visit your friend, and you know that your friend lives in Chicago. How important is it for you to have the exact address to go to their house and visit them? Pretty important, right? So it's very important. In Vedic astrology, we need the exact time. And I'll give you some reasons why. You know, Western astrology is very general, and so people want to know your astrology, so you throw out just your birthday and nothing else. That's because the sun, which is what Western astrology uses for your sign, the sun stays in the same sign for 30 days. So it's not very precise. Now, it could be wrong also because Western astrology is off by 24 degrees. It uses the tropical zodiac, which is the Earth relative to the sun, which 2,000 years ago was identical to the sidereal zodiac, which is the Earth relative to the sky above it. 2,000 years ago, they were the same, so it didn't matter which one you were looking at, you were seeing the same thing. Western astrology has held on to the tropical zodiac, which has been changing by 1 degree every 72 years. So it's off by 24 degrees now. I'm not trying to say that there's no value in the tropical zodiac, because the Earth relative to the sun has everything to do with the soul, and I think this has to do with, on an unconscious level, Western society became very Christianized, which was very connected to the soul and the ego and the soul and all of that. And so there's some value to it that I may not be aware of. But in terms of accurately looking at your day-to-day life, how you respond to your life, how you respond to your karmas, Vedic astrology is far more accurate because it uses the sidereal zodiac. So, Western astrologers will also use the sidereal zodiac as well. So the reason why I need your exact time is because your ascendant changes very rapidly, and the sun doesn't. It changes every 30 days. So I need to know what your ascendant is, because that's going to tell me what your real personality is. It's also going to tell me how your soul needs to interact with your karmas, and that is seen through your ascendant. And if you try and look at your ascendant in Western, it could be in a completely different sign. Even if your sun sign could be in a completely different sign. Okay, so that's why it's important to have the exact time. All right, let's see here. Question. So I speak to Rama for now, but what would be my mantra then? Jupiter? Well, it depends on what you want. You can do a Rama mantra. You can chant to Rama as well, but you can also speak to him. The difference between the Dharma Devatta and the Ishta Devata is that the Ishta Devata does not need to be worshipped in a literal sense. It doesn't need ceremony and mantra and ritual and symbolism, because the conscious mind doesn't need that. So that's why you can just talk to Rama. You can walk around all day and chant to Rama. There are mantras out there. I'm not going to give you one, and the reason for that is because I'm not doing your chart. Your full chart, if I was to really look at your full chart, then I could give you one. I have a karmic responsibility not to just give you any old mantra, because since I know how important it is to get a specific mantra for somebody, I won't do that unless if I'm not going to do it right, I won't do it at all. But if you want to go find one, you go do that. If you want to get one from me or one of my apprentices, go here. Now, your Jupiter is your Dharma Devatta, which means that Jupiter wants to help you on an unconscious level. So for that, the difference between the Ishta and the Dharma Devatta is that the Dharma Devatta needs to be worshipped in order to be empowered. To get the most out of your Dharma Devatta, you need to do mantra and ritual and ceremony. Because the Dharma Devatta operates on the level of the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind will only respond to ritual and symbolism. It will not respond to your conscious thought unless your conscious thought and your unconscious programming line up. If your unconscious programming is different, then you can tell yourself on a conscious level all you want, and your unconscious will refuse it. So for that, you would need to get a ritual. So you can talk to Rama, and here's the best way to use the Ishta Devata. When, for instance, you don't know what to do next, you don't know what ritual you should do, or who you should talk to, or what teacher you should work with, or what you should do next, the Ishta Devata will guide you. So the Ishta Devata will be sort of like your entryway into the club. If the club is where all the deities are, right? Your Ishta is the one that says, hey, I'm taking care of you. Tell me what you need, and I'll get you into the club, and I'll introduce you to whomever you need. So if there is a specific Jupiter deity that you need to work with, if there is a specific mantra and ritual, your Ishta Devata will guide you to the person or the teaching that will give you what you need. So when you don't know how to fix your Dharma Devata situation, you talk to your Ishta. And so for you, that's Rama. So if this came out, it's because Rama wants to work with you. Rama wants to guide you. Maybe guide you to a specific astrologer or a specific teacher or a specific teaching. If you want one for me, there's where you can go. But you're certainly free. There's no shortage of qualified astrologers all over the place who can probably give you what we're talking about here. Okay? All right. So I hope I answered your question there. See, there you go. She says, that makes sense because I'm not yet sure about ritual. It's easier for me just to have a conversation. So you see, you're not ready for it. So even if I gave you your ritual and your mantra, you know, that's not what you need right now. So see, I made a mistake for a reason, and I'm glad it was pointed out to me. I'm not afraid to admit when I make, well, most of the time I'm not afraid to admit when I make a mistake. Okay, so I'm getting ready to get off here because I've got another call that I'm going to take here in a few minutes. So I will be back in about a minute and see if there's any last minute things I want to say. If you have any last minute questions for me, now is the time. Okay, that picture that I just put up is, whoops. The picture that I just put up, this one right here, has a lot of meaning for me because I'm about to embark on a new teaching series that will sort of dovetail with this channel and with the thunderwizard.com channel. By the way, if you want to learn what I teach, if you're new to the channel and you want to have instruction in depth that will teach you shamanism and ritual. Skyclad Face says she's not sure about ritual yet. Well, part of that is probably because she needs some instruction on what ritual actually means and what it does. I had this question the other day or yesterday from one of my apprentices who, like me, came from a Christian background. And so the whole Christian idea of worship is totally foreign to our ancestors' understanding of ritual. And, you know, we both came from that background where, you know, you pray to Jesus and you thank him because he sacrificed himself for you and that you're worthless. And if it wasn't for his love, you'd be going to hell. And, you know, and God, you worship God because you want God's favor. You want him to love you and accept you and all that kind of stuff. And that is not where our ancestors came from, and that's not where a lot of religions that still hold a connection to prehistory, they don't operate from that understanding at all. The understanding is that you are an avatar of the source of the universe, that you yourself are God, and that the deities will serve you. The deities will serve you in order for you to reach your highest level of your everything, of your being. And in fact, the gods look on human beings with awe and with a little bit of envy because they wish they could become human because they know how powerful it is. That becoming a human is the highest honor you can have, because becoming a human is what's going to give you the power to create the universe, which is what this person is doing here. This, to me, reminds me of what we call the ascended masters. In my ethnic tradition, we call them the elves, which means the shining ones. They're human beings that have achieved a level of spiritual evolution that they no longer need to be human. but they still help to create the universe. And you see there in that picture, that being has all three of their centers lined up, and then through the hands, this being is intending the earth that's actually right in front of them, which means they're seeking to perfect the earth. They're intending a better earth for that actual earth. This is what the ascended masters do. This is what everybody listening to me is destined to become. So you saw I went against that thing about somebody's a star seed and they're a alien hybrid here to help us poor stupid humans. That I appreciate where that's coming from, in that you are special, that you are a spiritual being that is here to empower the earth. But that's true for all humans. And the ultimate destiny for all humans is to be an immortal, and we all will be. It may take some longer than others, but we will get there. We will all become that. That is a fact. That's where we are headed. And so I'm going to be talking about how to achieve that, which will give you the practical side of this. It will give you the ability to intend your reality in this life. In order to do that, we need to connect all of our three selves together, and we need to learn how to follow our highest internal soul desire. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. It's going to be about how to end reincarnation if that's what you want. You don't want to reincarnate anymore. I'm actually going to talk about how to do that. And perhaps you can do it in one lifetime. I can't say. But it's definitely possible. And certainly if you're able to perfect the technique that I'm going to share in this upcoming video teaching, which again will be dovetailed, but it'll be its own teaching. If you're able to put the time and effort and perfect that, then you can do that in this lifetime. I'm not going to guarantee that. I don't even know if I could do that. But I've worked with this technique long enough to know that if you do it, you can literally intend your reality. And you no longer have to worry about trying to swim upstream against your karma and all that. You learn how to flow with everything in such a way that life just sort of happens according to your highest awareness. But in order for that to happen, you have to be conscious enough to know what your soul truly wants. And when you can tap into what your soul truly wants, and you can let go of the need to please others and follow, what the world wants you to do, and follow your own internal guidance system, you will be able to intend your reality. And that's the whole reason you're here. Because when you learn how to do that and you've achieved all of your soul desires, then you will become this. So keep your eyes peeled for that. For now, if you would like, go here. I am giving a special. I normally charge $198 to do somebody's chart, and trust me, that's a bargain. You won't find anybody else out there that will do the exact kind of chart with the exact kind of ritual and mantra. You won't find it. It's well worth it. I could charge far more than that. But I'm giving a special. I'm taking $100 off. You can get readings for $108 from here. And if you want to learn my type of Vedic astrology, you can go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com, and then if you pass the certification, I will put you onto my website, and people can get a reading on my website through you. So when I send people to this, if your name is there and you're listed there, they can buy a reading from you. You can create a whole business out of it if you want. So that's it for me. I'll double check to see if there's any last minute questions. I got about 15 minutes before I got to take a call here. Okay, I don't see anything here. Do not see any questions on here. So there you go, my friends. I hope that was helpful for you. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time, let us all look forward to what is coming to us. At some point, you will become this individual.